Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to the final home game match preview of the 2022-23 season. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Colchester in League 2. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to the final match day preview for a home game in the 2022-23 League 2 season. Doncaster Rovers versus Colchester United. A tough season for both teams, so it's one that we want the curtain to come down on and we move on to next year. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for the support. A big thank you to each and every one of you that helped us achieve 3,000 subscribers this week. Honestly, I am lost for words. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. If this video has brought you to the channel and you want to watch future content and catch up on old content, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss out. But if you are new to this is the format that we go through match previews in. We look at previous meetings, we look at the current form for both teams. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to say a few words about. I also choose the opponent's one to watch. It's my opinion only. So Colchester fans, please, in the comments down below, if you think it should be somebody else, educate me, please. And then we finish the video off with 3 predictions. It's the predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, the predictions league table that me and the family have done all season, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Donny and Colchester faced off a total of 49 times in our history, and it's pretty even across that history, with Rovers coming out on top on 22 occasions, Colchester winning 19, and then we've shared the spoils on 8. Drilling down into our more recent 5 fixtures, we go back to the 2015-16 season in League 1, and it was a 2-0 home win for the Rovers, but then we got battered 4-1 away from home. It's not a happy hunting ground, Colchester, for us, because we jumped to the 16-17 season in League 2. It was a win at home, but a 1-1 draw away. And then earlier this season, we got absolutely battered 3-0 at their place. So, yeah, not a happy hunting ground, but it's as even as you're going to get over the last 5, with 2 wins each and a draw sandwiched in there as well. So a tough one to call if you're looking at just history. I think recent form, though, does tell a very different story. And that gets us on to our current form. Doncaster, dreadful. 2 defeats, a draw and 2 defeats in our last 5. Colchester, resurgent. A draw, 2 wins, a draw and a win. So they'll be coming into this one full of confidence. Hopefully they'll be coming into it on the beach. But yeah, looking at Donny, another defeat for Danny, this time at the hands of Newport County last time out. 60 minutes of okay football, I think, in that one. Nothing too thrilling, nothing to shout home about, but I think it was good enough to be in the position that we were in. Newport probably deserved something from that first half performance, but 1-0 coming into the hour mark and then 3 goals in 15 minutes killed off any hopes of a much needed win for the Rovers to ease the pressure on Danny Schofield and the players. Earlier last week, Danny came out and asked to be judged on next season and that he's going to stand and fight. Personally, I like to see that. I like to see that he's come out and addressed the issues. It's still a long way from winning a lot of fans back, though, in fairness, and rightfully so. People have made the mind up. It's going to need performances and results to change people's minds at this point. Hopefully this significant injection of funds allows Doncaster to bring in a capable squad of players to go again next season, and hopefully give Danny the tools to do the job. I firmly sit on the side of the fence where I want to give him an opportunity. October, November time, let's see what he's got, let's see what he's all about, before pulling the trigger too early. I may fall on my sword with that and we could be in a dreadful position come October, November, but I've got to trust what I believe in, just like I allow every other fan to do. You've got your own opinions, that one is mine, and only time will tell where that one goes. Moving on to Colchester, as I said earlier, a tough season for both of us, but Colchester more so. They were worried by relegation for a long period of time this season, but it's taken a hugely positive turn recently, seeing them become the form team in the bottom half, currently without defeat in 8. Some big scorelines in that run of games too. The 2-2 at Leyton Orient, the 1-1 at Stevenage, beating Salford away 1-0 as well, and then 4-0 and 4-1 wins against Crewe and Sutton respectively have pulled them away from danger and now mathematically safe. So I think for Doncaster's sake, we can only hope that Colchester are on the beach, or I fear that we could be on the receiving end of one of those latter scorelines tomorrow. Hopefully not, but with 3-0 at their place, I think a 4-goal swing to them could well and truly be on the cards. On to player profile. So for this one, I've gone with Todd Miller, 20 years old, on loan from Brighton. And for me, he's not shown too much since coming in on loan. He promised pace and attacking threat, but I think the lack of midfield ability and creativity in the Doncaster team at the minute has made it difficult, not only for Todd, but for all of the attackers at Doncaster to flourish this season. I think he looked lively against Newport, but so isolated and lightweight up front on his own. Changes needed to give lads like this a fighting chance, in my opinion, next season. I think we need a good core group of players who have got experience and the tough, seasoned pros to support these younger kids and younger players and help them develop. I think a squad at this level full of 20 odd year olds, it's not good enough, and it's showing this season. Slight glimpses of promise, but not enough to sustain any sort of push on playoffs or really any stampers of authority on any game. And I think Todd falls within that bracket. He shows glimpses of what he can be, but unfortunately not got the consistency to do it for the full 90 minutes. And Saturday, Tuesday, we will see what happens in Todd Miller's career. If he moves back to Brighton, he may come in on a permanent, who knows. But yeah, showing promise in a poor team. On to the one to watch for Colchester. So as I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than what I do, so in the comments down below if you think it should be somebody else. But for this one, I have gone with John Akinde, 33 years old, centre forward, 38 appearances for Colchester this season with 7 goals and 2 assists. He's the second top scorer. There's Chilvers as one to watch as well, but I think John, probably full of confidence. He's scored 3 in his last 4. He's coming into this one in a rich vein of form, so I think he could have an absolute field day. Talking about seasoned pros and players that have been there and done it, John is one of those, and I think that experience pays dividends against a very young back line, which ours is. I think 2 18-year-olds and a 20-year-old, I believe, they're going to have a tough old day tomorrow against John Akinde. So he's the one to watch for me in a Colchester shirt. As I said, in the comments down below if you think it should be somebody else. Moving on to the predicted team lineup. This is thanks to FanHub, so if you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into, challenges and whatnot, but for me it's all about the predicted team lineup. And I try to predict a lineup based on what I'd give or I'd put out there, but this time I'm just going with what I think Danny will put on the pitch, and this is it. I think he needs to change it. He needs to be a bit less tactically naive, and I think the stubbornness around his system and principles could ultimately be his downfall. But this is my predicted team lineup for tomorrow's fixture. Mitchell in goal, a back 3 of Nelson, Long and Faulkner. Hopefully Nelson's back. I believe he was out through concussion protocol against Newport. James Brown on the right, Luke Molyneux on the left, and then a midfield of Zane Westbrook and Ben Close, with Adi Barlow and Kyle Hurst a little bit further forward, hopefully supporting Jack Goodman, but I think Jack could be replaced by Todd Miller now I'm looking at it. Danny doesn't seem to have the confidence in Goodman to start, so possibly Todd Miller in place of Jack Goodman, but that's my predicted lineup for tomorrow's fixture against Colchester. Moving on to the Predictions League table. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game this season. If we got the scoreline right, we got 3 points. If we got the outcome of the game right, but not the scoreline, we got 1 point. If we got it completely wrong, we got no points. And I went with a defeat. My dad went with a defeat against Newport. Chris and Max went with wins. So no change at the top. Max still just out in front on 26 points. Chris on 25. Me and my dad neither got a correct score, so we got a point each, which leaves me still rock bottom on 17 points, but it's looking a bit more respectable from a few weeks back. Hopefully in these next 2 games I can get a correct score and leapfrog my dad and not finish with the wooden spoon. But it's all down to Chris or Max for the winner. And that takes me on to my score prediction for this one. if you've watched the channel for a long period of time, you'll know that it's always a prediction with my head and not my heart. Again, I don't really want to give this prediction because I can't see us winning against Colchester or Walsall, and we have got a huge summer. Colchester coming into this one with bags of confidence, and I think they'll continue that tomorrow. I'm going with a damaging 3-0 defeat. Luckily, I won't be watching the game live. There'll be no match day vlog because Vicky has booked us a lovely trip away for our anniversary, so I'm missing the final home game, which is a shame. I don't think I've missed the final home game of the season for some time, but at least there's nothing to play for, and if anything, anywhere is better than the Eco Power Stadium at the moment. Hopefully that changes next season and we have a positive one. But for the penultimate game of the season, the final home game of the season, I'm going with a 3-0 defeat. And that's where I'm going to leave it. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comment in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.